We are two peas in a pod, making an entertaining variety show that will dive into many subjects.
You can expect to learn about our experiences with cosplay, 3D printing, art, crafting, music, mental health, AI,
mysteries and spotlights on our favorite people, and things that we think that you'll enjoy. Hello, and welcome, everyone, to Your Fave Pod. We're your hosts, Misty
and Octo.
You may know me from when I streamed on Twitch as Misty Vicious, and Some Kind of Octopus as my moderator turned bestie.
We have frighteningly similar brains. We're both creative, curious, a little weird.
And always trying to learn more and better ourselves.
We're just two peas in a pod.
I'd like to start off with a quick explanation why I chose to do a visual podcast. I personally, as somebody with ADHD, have a hard time focusing. Maybe some of y'all know what I'm talking about. When I listen to audio-only podcasts, I can't focus long enough. I get distracted, and it's just, I have to keep rewinding and listening again, and then I forget to listen again, and then I have to keep rewinding and listening again, and it's just impossible. However, if it's a video podcast, then I have something to keep my attention, and I focus better on it. Even if I'm working on a project, I can be working on that project, look up, it refocuses my attention, so I'm still listening. It's just easier for me. So it's important to me to be able to cater to those audience members who need that visual aspect like I do, as well as our audio listeners. Anyone else have that issue? Feel free to tell me in the comments. Besides that, a visual podcast allows us to do a lot more than we could with audio only. For example, being able to visually showcase our creations and creations of others in our creative segment. We promise to try our best to stay conscious of our audio listeners and make sure to describe any visual aspects, as well as post whatever we show on screen onto social media so you guys can check that out as well.
So the reason I'm not on camera is that back in my day, a podcast meant that you just downloaded it and then you listened to it with your ears only. No, the actual reason is that I just have kind of a serious corporate job and I don't want to have to worry about constantly editing myself as I talk to make sure that I'm not going to be hurting my professional reputation. That's all. We're very excited to introduce our podcast to you. Let's give them an idea of what they can expect from us.
This is going to be an entertaining variety show that dives into many subjects.
We will have 4 main segments.
The segment I'm most excited about is the creative segment, which we still have to come up with a name for.
Maybe all of you can inspire us with your name suggestions in the comments.
The creative segment is going to cover a variety of creations, including cosplay, art, 3D printing, crafting, music, and anything we've created, are currently working on, or plan to work on in the future.
We'll be doing a segment called Artificial Amusement Park, which will include anything ChatGPT and AI related.
People, human brain, people, human brain.
People, human brain, people, human brain.
People, human brain, people, human brain. People, human brain.
People, human brain. People, human brain. People, human brain. People, human brain.
Another segment is called People, Human Brain, which is our mental health segment. Mental health is so important, and we want y'all to know that you're never alone. We both have ADHD, so we plan to discuss how that affects our lives and what life hacks we use to cope with it. It's okay to not be okay right now. You're allowed to feel your feelings, whatever they may be. Give yourself permission to feel. People, human brain, bam!
And our final segment is called Shut Up and Listen, where we'll be spotlighting other creators we know, either as guests or sharing with their permission. We'll be doing a famous spotlight of anything like comedians, musicians, TV shows, popular streamers, that sort of thing. We also plan to have occasional unsolved mystery episodes with special guests. In fact, our first episode,
Yes.
we'll be having some of those.
Well, yeah, you're right! Oh my it's too loud. Sorry, I got excited.
I'm not going to believe any of them.
That's okay. You don't have to.
Dun, dun, dun.
The skeptic. It may take a little while for us to find our groove, but we are so excited to be here.
Spooky, 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 spooky episode. Spooky episode. Maybe we should start the episode. Maybe that should be our intro.
We thought since Halloween is coming up, we should do a spooky themed episode. Woo! My story comes with photographic evidence, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so this is a friend of a friend, and this story took place, she says, 2016, 2017. She was staying the night at her friend's house, and it was the middle of the night, early morning. She was sleeping deeply on her friend's couch when she was suddenly awakened. To give a layout of the room, the couch was in the center of a hallway to the right, and the hallway was lined from about mid-wall up with mirror panels from the entrance of the hallway to the end, which is already creepy, in my opinion. It's too many mirrors.
Yeah, I don't like the mirror looking at mirror thing.
No.
It does weird me out a little bit.
Yes,
Feels
I don't like it.
You know, you're gonna I feel like the one, you know, when you see the like infinite rooms, I feel like you're gonna see somebody like walk by in like the 100th room back.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna be like,
I don't like mirrors are too big. Like, I have a mirror right next to me and it's huge, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like that where the mirror is next to me over here, the opposite wall has the door, so somebody that can walk up from outside can look in through the window or the door and see me in the mirror. That creeps me out. I don't like it. Yeah. That's why I have the curtains closed all the time.
yeah.
And then like in my old house back in Vegas, we had it looked like ballet mirrors. You know how they're like floor to ceiling mirrors? There was like 3 huge ones on the wall. I ended up putting like a whole cabinet in front of it so you couldn't like, because it just creeped me out. I don't know. Late at night, it was just creepy. Something about big mirrors was just creepy.
Yes. Agree.
When I was awakened on the couch, I saw something run past from behind me through the living room, and when it hit the entrance of the hallway, it went into the mirrors. How I know this is the mirrors were only halfway up the wall, so you could easily tell because now I could only see it in the mirrors. What I perceived to be spirit that I encountered with oddly looked exactly like my friend, whom I thought it was, and I chased after it saying, "Ha ha," insert friend's name here. "You can't fool me, I know that's you," to the end of the hallway, where I would find my friend completely unconscious asleep in her room. That is when I know I had encountered a spirit.
Wow.
Yeah. Creepy!
Sounds like a really weird dream that she had.
She said she went in. I was like, what did you do after that? She said she went in, woke her friend up, and her friend was like, what are you talking about? So she got in bed with her friend, and then she never went back to that friend's house. She's like, I'm never staying over here again. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. That's so terrible. But I wouldn't have gone back either. I wouldn't have.
I mean, you know, sure, that's probably, you know, if you don't feel comfortable there,
yeah,
don't go there.
Yeah, pass. Hard pass. No, thank you.
Okay, this story is a spooky story about an incident that happened in 1976 while living in Georgia. We lived in an old home with a fireplace for heat in the winter and the fans in the summer. As the months passed, I kept losing weight, even though I ate like a horse and snacked every day because I worked at Tom's Peanut Company, and they brought by the treat of the day every day at 10 a.m. after losing, she never explains what
The treat never explains what the treat is. I have no idea what the treat is. I'm going to ask her later.
I assume it's peanuts, right?
I don't know.
Was it just like a big, like, it was just a bit, they brought the tub, I was working, it was like, was she like a secretary and she like,
I don't know.
they just brought a tub of peanuts in and for them all to snack on, like just, anyway, after losing weight day after day, despite thousands and thousands of peanuts that I was eating on a daily basis, I started looking like a skeleton. Wow, weighing in a whopping 82 pounds. Oh my God. I was never sick and I ate more than anyone else trying to gain the weight back. When we first moved out of the country in Pine Mountain Valley, there was always an eerie feeling about the place. We walked the perimeter of the property and found interesting things about the place. There was an old red barn that had a few stray chickens and a few feral cats that were out during the day. There was an old 1940-something car buried in the middle of a pasture in the weeds. There's a wood pile back of the property that looked as if it had been there for decades. A month later, it looked like someone had dug into the middle of the wood pile and removed something. There was a
This
bank
is my
bag
aunt,
lying
not my
on.
uncle.
I know, but like, do you want me to do your aunt? A month later, it looked like someone had dug into the middle of a wood pile and removed something.
You just kept
There was
getting
a
deeper and
bag
deeper. I
lying
like
on the
it.
ground next to it. I don't know why the accent went here.
I don't either.
What in the world happened out there? What in the world happened out there? We never heard anything. But as the time went on, we started to hear things and feel things. It was like there was a ghost or spirit that had drifted from the woodpile up to the house in the corner by our bedroom. All the animals would come from the barn and lay in that corner under our bedroom window. The dog wouldn't go inside to pee. She would just stand at the back door and pee on the floor. Something was scaring her and she wouldn't go outside. We had some friends in Texas that decided to move out with us to Georgia. But as time moved on, we couldn't take the weird things that were happening and moved back to Texas. Weeks passed and I kept telling my husband that something was drifting from the back of the property by stopping outside our bedroom window every night. It was a very uneasy feeling, but somehow I fell asleep during the night. When the weather started to change, the house felt very cold inside, even with a fire. My daughter's room was the only room in the house that stayed warm all the time, no matter what was going on. I always felt like she was safe. I can't explain how or why I felt that way, but I knew she would be okay. I decided to change jobs when my husband switched to the day shift on his job. I worked nights after that, so one of us would always be with my daughter. The first night I worked, it was hard to adjust to the hours, but it was finally morning, and I drove home wondering how things went at home. And I walked into the house and my husband was sitting in our bed with my daughter next to him asleep and said, "Are you ready to go home to Texas?" I was never so happy as to hear those words. He said he didn't sleep all the night because there was something outside the window. Dun dun dun, he agrees now.
Dun, dun, dun. I finally saw it.
Bong.
Or felt it? Saw it? I don't know.
Yeah, do the spring sound.
It wasn't as deep that time.
Yeah, well.
Oh. There it was.
Okay.
Where it was.
Yeah. Again, it's either you gotta find a middle ground.
Oh, that was too intense. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. How's that?
That was good. On our way, I decided to change job. Wait. Oh no. On our way home, I kept praying to get us back to Texas. We got there, barely crossed the border into Texas, and the car broke down. We both called our fathers, and they came to get the car in their trailer separately, and we drove our car home. We had rented our house to a lady who later moved and didn't tell us. When my father-in-law drove over to ask for the rent next month, the house was empty. It was a godsend, really, because we needed the place to live. The night we drove over to our house and went inside because we were exhausted after the long drive and the incidents that happened along the way. As we made our sleeping bags in the bedroom, we climbed inside and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I awoke in more pain than I have ever felt. There was a presence in the room that was lightly glowing, and it was above me, and I felt like it was ripping out my stomach. To this day, I don't know what that was, but I know now that the devil does live in Georgia, and he was looking for his soul to steal. You know why? He was in a bind because he was way behind, so he was willing to make a deal. I don't remember the rest of it. Anyway, the devil does live in Georgia, and he had to ride inside me. Ugh. Yeah, that tapeworm probably did.
Oh my god, stop. That's terrible.
It's kind of starting to sound like that might be the case. She had that terrible stomach pain. The weight loss.
Right?
Hallucinations. I think she was just like really sick. I was never afraid as I was at that moment. When I explained myself to others, I was told by someone close that I could have been a spirit that was trapped inside me. That was unbelievable to me, but at least it was an explanation. That was many years ago, but the experience, it was so intense that I still wonder about it today. It was years before I would even drive through the state again, but I can tell you I never spent more than 2 to 4 hours that it took me to drive straight through it and got out. I have visions occasionally and see things that no one else sees, but I don't know if they are real or if my mind is playing tricks. I've always been perceptive, but I don't know how much I believe in myself enough to know what is real and what is not.
Creepy. What timing to be creepy?
What do you make of this story?
I would never go to Georgia.
What do you think it was?
If I was her. I'd never even drive through. I would be lying around there.
What do you think it was?
I don't know.
Do you think it was a demon? Do you think it was a devil, a spirit? Was it all made up? Was it a tapeworm, like I think?
I feel like if it was a tapeworm, then there would have been evidence, don't you think? She'd have to shit it out, no?
I don't know. Maybe it's still in there.
No.
Maybe it merged with her. Maybe that was the pain of it. Maybe that was that whole thing. It wasn't like a demon trying to... It was... what did she say? Where? It was ripping... It was lightly glowing above me, and it felt like it was ripping out my stomach. I'm just saying maybe they merged, and now they are one being.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. It's creepy. I don't know. Like... It's scary. But she saw something, like a thing above her, too, though. Like...
Yeah, but so what do you think it was?
I feel like that's...
What was it?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Pretty creepy. I don't know. I don't think I would have stayed in that house. Yeah, I have no idea. Super crazy. She never told me that story before, so I mean... I certainly would have probably moved from the house. Like, I know that was their old house and that they moved back into it, but if that happened, I would be like, alright, time to move again. Get me out of here too. I don't know. Because then if you brought it back with you, and then, I don't know, I'd want to get out of there and see if it hopefully doesn't follow the next time around, you know?
She's saying that he low-key hates that she uses tarot/angel cards because what if she invites some kind of evil entity in? He was in the basement working on one of his he does his remote control helicopters, which are pretty rad, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was down there working at the workbench. Nobody else was home at the time. All of a sudden, a metal hanger shot across the other side of the basement over by the laundry. Not fell shot, so it's shot across the basement.
Ah!
That's it.
Scary.
I said laundry demons. She said precisely.
Oh, a metal hanger, like a hanger for laundry.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I was like, this sounds very dangerous.
Hanger. A clothes hanger. Clothing. So what I think happened is like there was the house settled and then a hanger fell on the other side of the basement at the same in like a slight delay and then.
But did it fly across the room?
I mean, I don't think a hanger just like flies across the room.
Yeah. So
I guess it could have been under tension of some sort.
Or it was the laundry ghost.
if there's any, and I told my sister this, if there's anything that I would believe was haunted, it's laundry, because I hate doing my laundry.
And
So
you always miss a
sort
sock.
It seems sort of evil.
The socks
That's
disappear.
true. The socks do go missing.
Where do they go?
Could be. Maybe if you don't appease the sock demons with the occasional offering of a sock.
That's exactly what it is.
Then
Oh
this one
goodness,
happens.
I haven't appeased the sock demons in a while. Scared.
Yeah.
Might have been matching up lately. Ooh.
Well, I outsource my laundry now.
Outsource.
I use an app, which I won't say. We won't say the name on the podcast unless they want to give us a little dollar, a little scratch. You know what I'm saying? Your name here.
A little sponsy spons.
Yeah, because I actually really do like it. I have a hard time keeping up with laundry because I don't have a laundry in my place, and so I have to go into the other building.
Oh, I know.
It's coin laundry.
I know.
And so
That's
I just get way
terrible.
behind on laundry. So the app is great because they come, and you can, if you want, you get the same person every time. You can ask for them, and I do, because the one that I get is nice. This time she sent me a little thank you note and
Aw.
a note that she'd be out of town for a certain day. So, you know. But yeah, I just put a bag out. You click in the app and then you arrange the thing. Put the bag outside. She comes and picks it up, washes it, folds it, pairs the socks, delivers it all nice and folded and neat. And I just like.
Does she do it at your apartment, like
No,
laundry
she takes
place,
it
or
away.
she takes it away and then comes and brings it back?
Yeah, takes it away. Like she makes her rounds. She does it.
Interesting.
And usually she picks it up the same day.
I wonder how much she makes doing that. I could do some laundry.
I don't know. Well, it costs.
I'm actually terrible at
well,
doing
and
laundry.
It
Can't
costs
ever remember.
$25 for a large bag of laundry, which is probably like 3 loads to 4 loads maybe. And that costs $25, and then I tip her $10.
Nice. There's $10 for dealing
Yeah.
with my stinky socks.
Because, well, the alternative is I'd go and drop off the
Yeah.
laundry if it's available, because there's only 2 washers and 2 dryers.
Right.
And then, come back a half hour later, swap them out, come back an hour later, and then I have a pile of laundry that I don't do anything with, and I leave in the basket all week until I've just worn everything in there, and it becomes dirty laundry, and then I repeat the cycle forever.
Yeah. That's
Here,
fair.
I actually use my dresser drawers, so 'cause I just come nice and folded, and I put them right in. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Okay. Well,
I want that
is
service for dishes.
convenient.
I want somebody to take my dishes
I would
away.
totally pay somebody to do dishes.
Oh, maybe that should be our
Fucking
genius
dishes.
app idea. We'll
Isn't that just called like
we'll-
maid service though?
we'll give
Like you
we'll
just
give it a
have a
we'll give it
maid
kind of
come
a-
and do your dishes, like a cleaning
Is that
lady.
a thing? Can I do that? I
Yes.
thought they wouldn't do dishes. They'll like tidy, they'll like wipe down stuff and like vacuum.
No, I think depending on the company, I think certain, like some of them you can just choose, like just come and do my dishes and don't do anything else.
I would pay someone to come do my dishes.
I totally would too, because I hate dishes. So our friend has shared his story with us, and he said that the owner of the apartment that he lived in was murdered with like a shotgun. I think he said shotgun. But he was murdered by gun. And he had this crazy, like, waking nightmare thing happen. This story took place in October of 2008. Okay, so he had an air mattress at the time, and he was asleep on his air mattress, and then he woke up and he couldn't move, so, like, sleep paralysis situation. He felt a presence enter the house. Like, he woke up and felt a presence enter the house. And then it moved to his bedroom door. It came up to his door, and it hung out there for a minute, and then it came over and like stood over his face, and then it stayed there for a minute or two. He said it could have been like a millisecond, but it felt like 8 years. It was like a will-o'-the-wisp type thing. So it didn't have like a perfect form. It was like a Dementor, and it was sucking the magic out of my face. That's what he said. After it stood there for a minute, it went into the closet. As soon as it hit the closet, he was able to like move, and he jumped up and just took off out of the apartment. And as he's like running out of the apartment, he's just thinking like, why is nobody else leaving? Everybody should be running away. Like, why is everybody just still asleep and like nobody's running away like if there's the building on fire or something type of thing? But obviously he was the only one who saw this thing and felt this thing, so of course nobody else had any kind of reaction to it because the building wasn't on fire. After he took off, he went and got in his car, and he just drove and went to like a Walmart parking lot on the other side of like the lake, and like just got the hell out of there. And obviously it took a long time to calm down, and then he realized like, you know, his brain was starting to fire on all cylinders, and realized like, okay, obviously I was the only one who experienced this. But yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty scary. I would be scared. Especially waking up and not being able to move is already like scary in itself, even if nothing else is going on around you. So he called it a waking nightmare. We don't know. Was it actually something there? Was it not? I don't know.
Sounds terrifying.
Does sound absolutely terrifying. No, thank you. I would like to opt out of that ever happening, please. So scary. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
This one time I was going back into the stock room to ask my manager a question, and the entrance to the stock room was in the middle of the stock room, so there's like a left side and a right side, right? So I turn left and go towards his desk, and I see somebody walking on the other side of like a storage shelf. There's like a little 2-inch gap in between, where you can see through all the shelves. And I go, you know, hey, so-and-so, to the manager. And he responds from an aisle behind me. And I turn around and look at him, and I'm like, what are you doing over there? I thought you were over here. I just saw you walking past. And he goes, what? No, I was over here sitting down. So I go and look down the aisle. And as I look down the aisle, the fucking radio starts blasting in the front, like if someone turned the volume all the way up. The radio was at his desk where none of us were. My manager was like in our little locker area. His desk is like in the far back left, where I thought I saw somebody walking. And when I was going to check it, the radio went super fucking loud. We had to like run over there and turn it down because it's like super fucking loud.
Did it look like you're...
It looked like, because I only see like maybe 3 inches, so it just looked like arms and a body walking.
Okay.
Like I see anybody walking down.
Yeah.
Like you don't see like...
But it wasn't like a shadow, you saw like... It just looked like a normal person.
Hey,
that's so creepy.
I got the chance when he said the radio came on.
Yeah.
I couldn't say like, oh, he was wearing a different
Right.
shirt. It was just black. You know?
And then the music started blasting in the front. Was everybody else who was there like, what the fuck?
In the back, and I did like near our security cameras and all that.
Oh, like past the desk?
No, literally on the desk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Creepy!
I know.
Oh my
But he
god.
wasn't, where I saw the thing walking wasn't the aisle of the desk either. It was one aisle past.
Oh.
Which is even weirder.
Yeah. Ah.
I know.
Creepy.
So like, he was super religious, so he immediately got his Bible and started praying stuff.
I
And I was like,
understand.
bro, we don't have issues until you started bringing that to our house.
Oh shit.
So maybe you should stop.
Maybe you're bringing the ghost.
Yeah. So there was one time I was closing with one of my female coworkers, and she went to go get us some Starbucks, some snacky snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the only one in the store. I was like leaning up against the wall near like one of the little foot scanning sections that we have for insoles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, listening to music and just watching people walk by. And we have these big windows in the front on each side, and then the doors are in the middle. So I can see her walking back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she gets to the front door, she like stops in her tracks, and she's like, kind of like hesitating to come in. And I'm like, okay, like, what the fuck, what's up? And she's like, weren't you just helping somebody? I'm like, no, why? There was a bald guy in an orange shirt with a stroller that you were just talking to right now, right? And I was like, no, I've literally been leaning on this wall, like, and I just watched you walk this way, then you just stopped at the door. And she goes, no, you were just talking to a bald guy with an orange shirt, and he was like holding a stroller. I'm like, no, you're fucking tripping. And then she got scared, called the manager. I was like, oh my god, we saw another ghost, because this happened after.
Right, the first one.
But, yeah.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
like, nobody wanted to work alone anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame anybody.
Yeah.
So,
That one, I don't know what the fuck she was tripping out, because we even looked at the cameras, and it just shows me standing there watching her walk by.
did she...
No, there was a guy right there. There was a guy standing right here. She, like, walked out there, and she's like, you were standing right here, and he was standing right here, holding the stroller like this, and he was talking to you. I was like, bitch, you're tripping.
But, like, you were still, like, she's not just crazy, right? Like, you were still... she's saying you were where you were, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't move or anything. I was just standing there waiting.
And she didn't see you, like, talking. She just thought you were
No,
listening.
she saw somebody facing me, talking to me.
Yeah. So she just thought you were, like, listening to them. That's so creepy. That's so fucking creepy. Damn. Yeah. And you were just standing there, totally oblivious, had no idea that there was a ghost right now.
Just leading.
Ah! How did you feel after she told you that? Like, knowing...
I didn't really feel anything, to be honest.
I would have been...
Mostly because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
The one with my manager, I was more a little freaked out.
Yeah, because you saw
I
it.
saw it, like, clear as day, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's no fucking way. There's nobody on that side of the stopper.
Right.
What the fuck did I see? Because I did see something. Yeah,
Right.
100%.
I think I would still feel creeped out, though, knowing that she saw someone right next to you and you didn't see it. That's creepy.
I think a part of me didn't want to believe her.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah. But then also a part of me's like, I'm not really scared of the supernatural.
But also, it's like a guy holding a stroller, so it seems kind of not scary at the same time.
Yeah. Like the context of it all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was like the fucking, I saw the Grim Reaper next to me.
Yeah, it'd be a different story.
Oh, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
My candle just flickered and scared the shit out of me. It like threw up a puff of smoke. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Gasp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird stuff.
That first one, though, is very creepy because it wasn't just him. It wasn't just one person. Like, multiple people were there and experienced it all together. So, when things like that happen, I feel like it's creepier when there's more than one person there with you.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Because in that case, it, like, probably was maybe a ninja. Like, that's about to take somebody out, or an assassin or something, and they're, like, using that as cover.
Right. That's probably exactly what it was.
I think so.
But then they realized how many people were in there, and they were like, can't take somebody out with this many witnesses. Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
And they probably were, like, wearing a sheet with 2 eye holes cut out of it.
I'm a ghost. The other one, though, is just as creepy. Like, the fact that she saw somebody standing next to him where, like, he had no idea someone was there. I would feel creeped out that somebody was standing next to me and I had no idea they were there. Like, he didn't seem too creeped out about it, probably because he didn't actually see it like he did the other one. But, like, I would have been like, that's worse because I don't know where it's at, you know? It could be anywhere, anytime. That's creepier.
You know what he should have done? He should have got Scooby-Doo in the
Paint.
gang.
Oh.
It would have been. They would have found out that it was not.
Just get
a
spray
ghost.
paint
It
and
wasn't
just...
somebody. It wasn't even an advanced secret operative like I think. It was actually old man Herbowitz trying to
Herbowitz.
mask.
Herbowitz.
I'm trying to scare off the corporation because they took out, they ran his local hardware store out of business. And who can blame him?
Who could blame him? This story is from someone that has gone inside of this place, and it was basically an abandoned tuberculosis hospital. I'll give some details of what they said, and then at the end is where they give the details of what they saw. So it was previously a tuberculosis hospital, and what's odd about the place is how they still had things in there from the 30s and 40s. No one had removed anything. He said, I remember one of the rooms had repeated writings all over the walls, same sentence written over and over and over. The church on the property had their windows covered so you can't see the hospital from inside the church, which was odd as well. And then he goes on to say, not to mention the bouncing ball and kids' laughter that we heard when we were inside the hospital. Creepy! Just bouncing balls flying by while you're just standing perfectly still. And then, like, kids' laughter down the hallways. Very creepy. This is another one. When we were young, my parents rented an apartment, and it was so haunted. One night, we were sleeping, and I woke up hearing chains being dragged outside my window, and a moaning sound, and I was too scared to look out. Me and my siblings talk about that place a lot. It was the only place where they would sleepwalk and try to get outside of the house. We would see apparitions. One time, me and my brother was playing Nintendo Legend of Zelda. What we thought was my mom came and yelled at us angry to take the trash out. We came back after dumping the trash. My mom was like, where were you guys? And we told her we took the trash out. And she looked at us like, what the heck? And she said, I didn't ask you to take the trash out. And they knew right then it was a ghost. Scary.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, so this had to be in probably maybe 2000. I was probably about 14 at the time. It was late, probably around about 2 o'clock during the summer, so we didn't have school. Me and my younger brother were sitting in my room, just talking and drawing. Well, all of a sudden we hear this noise, like sounded like babies were crying. So we stopped and we both looked at each other, and it was quiet in the house. The TV wasn't on or anything. So we ended up hearing it again. And we both looked at each other again, like, did we hear what we thought we heard? But needless to say, we didn't go to sleep until daylight because we were so freaked out.
And that's the end of that.
Wowzers.
Yeah. She did tell me that one, and I was like, I would have been so creeped out.
Maybe it was just a crow outside.
Maybe just a crow crying like a baby.
Yeah, they can mimic people.
Really? Crows?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was probably around 18, 19 at this time, out of school, staying at a friend's house. So he had to be at work at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 or something. So he got up and left around 5 o'clock. So on the street that he lives on, it's very, very dark. No street lights, no nothing. So when all the lights are off in the house,
Already
it is
creepy.
pitch black. The house is really, really old.
Yeah.
Only house on the block.
And the
So-
house is old.
I try to go back to bed, and I lay in the bed, it's pitch dark, and I open my eyes, and I see a figure standing by the window in
just
front
got
of the
chills.
bed. So I hurried up and closed my eyes again,
It is not cold in
and
here.
I opened them again, and it was standing at the end of the bed. So I covered my head up and I started praying. I was like, oh my God, what am I seeing? Opened my eyes again, and he was standing right next to me. And at that point, I literally rolled all the way to the other side of the bed. I flipped the light on, and I got up, cut on every light in that house. And I did not go to bed for the rest of the day. I got up, and as soon as I was able to leave that house, I left, and I did not stay over there again unless he was off from work.
Creepy.
Yeah, I would have done the exact same thing. She said I turned all the
Very
lights off and I
creepy.
started laughing because I would have been doing the same thing, except like I would have been running through the house. I would have been like, lights, lights, lights. But when she said she rolled over to the other side of bed, I thought she meant she rolled over and just like covered her head or something.
I was picturing like a tactical role. Like, you know, she
Yeah.
went shoulder down and then came up on her feet, holding a gun all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
She willed a shotgun into existence.
All the lights, fuck all that. Hell no. So creepy. Okay, so this story that I'm gonna tell is the fact that she, hold on real quick, the fact that she stayed over there again, I would have never come back. I would have been like, I'll come back during the day, but I'm not staying the night. Like, I don't care if you're here or not. Like, that's not gonna save me. I
Yeah.
would have been like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come to my
That
house.
just means there's going to be 2 victims, you know?
I would be like, I'm so sorry. This is a deal breaker for me.
Deal
Just
breakers.
like the last story with the mirrors. Like, I would have never gone back to that. I would be like,
No
you
crypto bros.
I hit the thing.
And no ghosts. No haunted. Your place can't be haunted. That's a no-go. It's a red flag.
Yeah, I would have been like, look, you can come over anytime, but I'm staying away. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My friend's mom, this is her story, but she told it to me. My friend told me. So, her mom and some of her cousins were out in this, like, area that they were not, like, actually allowed to be, but there was, like, a tire swing or something, so they would always go over there. It wasn't a tire, but it was, like, a rope on a tree, basically. Okay.
Okay.
So they would go over there to swing on this rope. It was like you had to go through the fence, and it was like a whole thing. They weren't supposed to be over there. So they never told anybody this story until like recently. She had told my friend, her daughter, and she was like shocked. But obviously they didn't want to get in trouble, right? So of course you're not going to bring up a story about anything happening in a place that you're not supposed to be. So one day they were just swinging on the swing, and then like one of the cousins was up in the tree just like hanging out, and they were all just, you know, playing or whatever, and they were young, very young teenagers, maybe like, I don't know, 14ish, and all of a sudden a friggin' UFO showed up above the tree, and it like pushed the tree limbs down, and they saw it, and of course everybody like freaked out and took off running. Well, the cousin was stuck in the tree, and she couldn't get down. She didn't know how to get down, or she was like too scared to get down, and they like left her. They just like they were scared, and they took off running, and they left her up there. And then they came back. They were like, wait, where is she? And they came back to go get her. And when they came back to go get her, she was just sobbing hysterically in the tree. And then the UFO was gone. They were like, what just happened? Like, what are we running from? Like, did that really happen? You know, kind of thing. They go back to get her, and she's just crying hysterically, and she, like, couldn't speak or anything. And, like, it was just crazy. She was just hysterical, obviously. And they never spoke of it again after that. None of them. They never talked to each other about it. They all just thought, like, that must not have happened. That must not have been real. You know, like, we just all thought we saw something. And then, you know, now, like, in this day and age, they're, like, older. And they all discussed it. Like, when she told her daughter about it, she was like, you should talk to them and see what they say. And so she got in touch with everybody, and, like, they all had conversations. They were like, yeah, I remember it, but we never told anybody about it because we didn't want to, you know, get in trouble. Because we weren't supposed to be over there. And then the cousin that got stuck in the tree, sadly, has never been the same since that night. She has had lifelong battles, depression, like all kinds of health issues, and she's just been really bad off, like, ever since that night. She's never been the same. Like, just really messed up. Super sad. Like, physical health, like, problems. I don't want to give away anybody's, like, medical history or anything, but how crazy is that? The only cousin that got left behind has all these horrible medical problems. Could be a coincidence, but could be the aliens. I don't know.
Could be.
Yep.
So it was about 6 months after we moved in. I done put all my stuff out in the garage, set it all up, had a tool I put over on a shelf. And I knew I put this tool on that shelf. And I don't know, I think it was a couple days later after I put it there. And I walked back out there to get it, and it was nowhere to be found. And I looked all over. I thought maybe I'm just not remembering where I put it. And looked everywhere. And I go back in the house, and I said, I can't find it. I know I got it. It's out there somewhere. I can't find it. And I walked back out there, and it was sitting right where I put it. And I knew that's where I put it. And it wasn't there. I don't know how it wasn't there, but it was not there. And that happened at least 3 times out in the garage.
He did
Then
say
about
3 or 4 before.
2 years later, I start down the stairs, and I don't know how I ended up on the ground. All of a sudden, boom, I'm on the ground. So I don't know if something tripped me, because something hit my foot. I don't know what it was. Something touched my foot, grabbed my foot. I don't know.
That's my mom's ringtone going off. Okay, start over from your foot. Something grabbed your foot.
I've been really
Can you put that on airplane
trying
mode? You don't know. But something grabbed my foot, and I end up on the ground. Skint knee. Had 2 skint places on my knee.
Skint.
One on the bottom of my knee, one on the top of my knee.
Skint.
And I have no idea how I got that. Something
Yeah, it
grabbed
sounds like
me.
he trips down the
tripped
stairs and
me
hit his
or-
head and got a little bit of a
I
concussion.
don't know. I turned around to see if something
It's really
broke
common
off
to
of the
not
stairs.
remember the,
Nothing.
like, a little bit of time
Nothing
leading up to
there.
it. So trauma to mental
So
head
I don't know what happened there. That's weird.
But he fell on his knees, not
And
on
you said
his head.
something hit your foot,
Wow.
right?
I felt something
Maybe
on my
also
left
that.
foot, and then I felt me pounding
Maybe
on the
maybe a
ground
ghost.
after I fell
Maybe a ghost tripped
on my
you.
right knee.
Yeah, he said the ghost
So it was
pushed
like
me
something
or grabbed my
foot
leg.
and I couldn't move my left foot, and I just went down because my right foot was in the air. It was weird. I just don't know how it happened. It was just too weird. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Your dad sounds nice.
He is nice.
Okay, so this happened to me about 40 or 45 years ago. My sister was having her third child, and I was staying at her house babysitting her two small children while she was having her third child. I guess it was the second night I was there. I was sleeping on the couch, and I heard a noise, sounded like someone crying, and I looked over to the right of me and seen something sitting in the chair with its hands up where hands would be was on its face, on the side of each cheek. And you couldn't see no flesh. It had a black robe on. You could not see any flesh on it at all. No face, no hands, no feet. And it looked like it was just crying. Then all at once it kept looking over in my direction. And I thought it was my sister and something had happened to the baby. So I didn't want to say anything, so I just started wiggling around. Next thing I know, it gets up and it walks over to the couch where I'm at. And I kept waiting for it, moving around so that she'd know that I was awake. And she never acknowledged me or said anything. So the next morning, when she got up, I asked her if she was okay, and she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I saw you in here crying last night at the table." And she said, "No, you didn't see me." And I said, "Yeah, I saw you right there. You were sitting at that chair crying." And I said, "Then you got up and you walked across the room, came over by the couch." I said, "I wiggled so that you knew that I'd be awake."
Wiggled.
And she said, "Nope, that wasn't
Give me a
me."
little wiggle.
So all I know is either I
Like a
saw
bee.
an angel or I saw a ghost. But I don't know which it was.
Also, your mom has a great voice, by the way. I bet she'd be a great singer. She's got it's like rich. It's,
She's a
complex.
I love
Like a
her
fine wine.
so very much. Being a singer is not what I would say is her particular talent.
Well, well, it's something you gotta work at, you know.
She does have a great voice. I love her very much. I love her voice. I love listening to her talk. But I have a karaoke CD that my uncle, when we came down to visit one time, recorded me and her singing. And when I find it, I will, I guess I have to, burn it onto the, computer or whatever.
Maybe just spoken word. Maybe she can be a voice
spoken
actor.
word poetry slam thing?
Yeah.
Or just reading books or something, maybe?
Yeah. Just a voice
Telling
actor,
short
read
stories.
books. Yeah, she could do audiobooks. I'd listen to it.
Oh, hell yeah. Audiobooks would be super cool. But anyways, yeah, she, singing, not so much her forte. We sing all the time together, but,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. My aunt was here, the other day, or, last week or whatever, whenever it was, and, I don't think she does that with her family, because, me and my mom, we were, the three of us were, out to dinner, and a song came on. We were, at Chili's or something, and a song came on that me and my mom knew, and so we, started singing together. I don't even remember what it was, because we do it all the time. Not all the time, but
That's good.
sometimes.
Humans evolved to sing.
I agree.
It's built in, and it's
And I don't care if you sound good, you sound bad. It
Yeah.
don't matter. You're having a good time.
Well, that's
that
the thing
all
is,
that matters.
if you sound bad, that's just the first step on the road to sounding good, and that's the thing that as the human beings are bereft of communal singing, because we are so obsessed with are you a good singer or are you a bad singer? Just need to be accepting of every.
But that's
every
why
voice
I
and
love
chorus,
karaoke so much, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a good
In
singer
more than
or a
one
bad
way.
singer, or you have a great voice, or your voice is a little shaky, or whatever the case is. Like, as long as you're having a good time, that's all that matters. That's the way I feel,
Yeah.
at least.
Perhaps. I get very self-conscious. I might do it at a jam session soon.
Do it.
To do jazz songs.
Hell yeah.
We'll see.
Aww. That'll be awesome. But, yeah, my aunt just looked kind of like, I don't know, surprised when we were, like, just singing randomly in public together. Like, we weren't loud, but
Yeah.
we were, like, you know, it was just,
Yeah,
she just
some
looked
people
surprised. And then later,
yeah.
and, well, my aunt used to sing in, like, a church choir, too, so, like,
Oh, I see.
yeah, and she's always told my mom that she doesn't have a good voice, which is so rude, but whatever. She said,
I see.
that's
She's
not
a
what she
snob.
said. She says that she can't carry a tune, I guess. Which, look, I mean, my aunt uses
You
too
know.
much vibrato. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, she's one of those church ladies.
Yeah.
The goat
So,
singers. Yeah.
Look, you each have your strengths and your weaknesses, okay? And as long
Or
as you're having a
she.
good time, who cares? And then, like, later, another song came on that my aunt and I knew, so we started singing, and then I think she just had, like, that was a nice little time. I think she felt included and special and was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't think she does that with her family. I don't know that, but it just seemed kind of like she was surprised or something. I was like, oh. Yeah, we like to have a good time. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
My best friend was on the phone with somebody that she was seeing at the time. She was probably 15 or 16. Her mom's boyfriend saw that she was like giddy, talking to him and like blushing, and then he was like poking fun and like trying to embarrass her, and he was like, oh, she's blushing, and so she ended up, like, I think they had a cordless phone, or she hung up with him or something. I don't know what exactly happened in that particular moment, but she went running down the hallway because he had grabbed a disposable camera, because this was, you know, back in the 90s or whatever. So she went running down the hallway. Well, all the lights were off, so it was dark in the hallway. There was light in the living room, but it didn't cast much light through the hallway, especially using disposable cameras back then. They're terrible. And he tried to snap a picture of her blushing, but all he got was, like, she was already at the very end of the hall where she turns into her bedroom. So she's either not in the picture at all, or it's just like maybe you could see like her feet as she turned into the hallway. But in the center of the hallway is a face, far away from where she is. It's like right at the front of the hallway, where the hallway, like, just past where the hallway starts, and it's just a face right in the middle. So I asked her to find me the picture. She hasn't yet, so I don't know if she'll actually be able to find it, but if she does, I will put it up, but if not, then whatever. The crazy thing is, my story, which happened later down the line, I don't know how long, maybe a year later, we were at my house, and maybe it was like 2 years later. We were at my house, and we were taking pictures. I had I had a digital camera, and you just plug it right into the computer, and you can upload the pictures right away. So we were just being, I don't know, silly, whatever, taking random pictures of each other, and then putting it on the computer to look at. And then I think I like changed my shirt or something, and then I was looking in the mirror, which was on my wall, and so like the door is on one side, and then the wall, and then my desk is like on that same wall, and I had a mirror in between where the door was and where like the desk was. There was a mirror on the wall, and I was looking into the mirror. So the picture she took, I'm not even looking at the picture. because I wasn't even like, I don't know why she even took it. Like, it was just random. She just snapped it or whatever. And so I'm like looking down in the mirror because I was like looking at my hair or looking at my top or something like that. And up in the corner over by the door is where I had my belts hanging. And I had like a cat purse backpack. It was like a little backpack that's like shaped like a cat, like a little black cat, which is cute. And I never used it, but had to have it. Right next to that is a white face. And the only reason that I, without a doubt, believe that this is a ghost is, without a doubt, I'm telling you, is because we seen it immediately, like minutes later. We took the pictures, we took a couple of other pictures, and then plugged it in, or maybe she took that picture and then we plugged it in, I don't know, but regardless, it wasn't long, it was a few minutes, it was the same exact day, it was like minutes later. Plugged it in, put up all the pictures, was looking through them, saw that and was like, oh, that's weird. What is that? And then we looked over to see what it was, what it could have been. Looked everywhere, like, it's just like a handful of belts hanging on there, and then that cat purse, and then the door is like past that. That's it. Nothing
also,
else.
A handful of belts, new band name, call it.
Handful of belts. Nothing else was there, and nothing was on the opposite wall, because like where the door was, it was like kind of like a little, I don't want to call it a hallway to get into the room, but it was like a little, there was a half a wall on one side, like, so you had to like walk a few steps in before you can like turn. Anyway, but I might have a picture that I could show, but I don't know if I do or not. But basically, there was nothing on the opposite wall like hanging, so there was no like mirror or no like anything that could be reflective off of that. Where the belts were, you can see through this face, like you can see the belts underneath. There's no way that it was a reflection of any kind. Like we investigated, we even like moved shit to like see if like, how could we have made a face though? Like I have no idea how we could have made a face. And it wasn't like, at the time I did have a mask, like a paper mache mask on a wall, but it was not anywhere near, like it was all like totally different wall, totally far away, like it wouldn't have, and it was black and pink, so it wouldn't have reflected a perfectly white face. It's so creepy and so weird, and like the facial features reminded us of our friend that had recently passed, so we kind of always thought maybe it was him, we don't know. Anyway, and the faces look similar. The one from her picture and the one in mine look similar. They were just like a white face. So, I don't know. It looks like a white mask. Like just like a white mask that you would get at the store that you would like paint or something. It's just so creepy because like, had I found it like the next day even, I would have been like, that's weird, but I wouldn't even I would have been like, I just chalk it up to who knows what it was before, because that was a whole nother day. Like, but I mean, it was immediate. We investigated. We tried to figure out. We tried to like replicate it. We tried to see like, is there some kind of weird reflection that could have happened? Like nothing. So creepy. So that happened. And then I had another experience with her.
Yeah.
It was when she lived in Arizona, I believe. But it was not that long ago. It was years down the line, because obviously that was when I was a teenager. So it was years down the line from that happening. And it was a very simple one. Me, her, and her husband I was going to say at the time, but they're still married. Me, her, and her husband were sitting at the kitchen table. For whatever reason, we were all sitting there playing on our phones. And it was like silent. It was like late at night. All the kids were asleep. It was really late. It was too late. We should have probably all been in bed. because I think we had been playing like cards or something, and then we had decided we were done, and we were just sitting there like messing around on our phones, and then all of a sudden we heard a man's voice, like out of nowhere. We didn't know what it said. It was kind of like it said something, but we couldn't figure out what it had said. But it was like near us, like maybe right in the next, like if the kitchen was here and the living room was here, it was probably like right at the edge of the living room, like and where the kitchen and living room meet. I mean, it was close and creepy, and it was just a man's voice that said something, and we like looked at each other. I thought maybe like it was one of them playing a video on their phone, and that's where the sound came from. And so I looked at both of them, and they kind of looked up, but they didn't say anything. I'm like, did y'all hear that? And they were like, yeah. Were you playing a video? No. We were all like, no, playing a video, nothing, no. So that happened. Super creepy. And all the kids were little, so like it wasn't one of the kids, and they were all sleeping. And it sounded like a grown man's voice, like a older man's voice. So creepy.
Very creepy.
Very creepy.
Creeptastic.
Creeptastic.
Creepalicious.
I know. And then I had a recent experience that I still cannot understand that happened at work just the other day. And I feel like my mind just must be playing tricks on me with this one, because it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this one.
Yeah. And I still cannot figure it out. It just
It's pretty weird.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so
Unless it was also an assassin.
it wasn't all black, so like I do feel like that could be true.
Could
Like
be.
and then maybe the ninja, like I didn't look at the ceiling, maybe the ninja went up in the ceiling.
Could have been one there. Could have been a little ninja.
So am I
Creeping
gonna be
around in there.
assassinated? Because it's always people. If it's an assassin that's always coming around when I'm there, it's a little scary.
Well, they want to learn from you. That's the thing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So what happened? So the setup of the store that I work in is you walk in the front doors, and the front lobby is here. You go into the back room and then turn to the left, and the bathroom is over here. And then where you walk in the door to go into the back, the opposite way is my office. And that's where we keep like stuff sometimes. So like what I thought I saw made sense, but then it wasn't real. So okay, so where the bathroom is, across from the bathroom is a sink. So I was washing a dish, and I had turned the water off, and I went and grabbed a paper towel. And as I was like looking up from the paper towel, I saw what I thought at the time was my coworker walk in that back door there. She went around, went into the office, disappeared. I didn't think anything of it. We go in and out of the office all day. So as I was walking that direction, I was drying my hands, like I was looking down, I had looked up, saw her go, and it was really fast, and she was in all black, like long sleeves, and just all black. I didn't see any skin, so I don't know, like I didn't see the top of the head really, because I was still kind of looking, I was in the process of looking up still, so I didn't get to the very top, but it was just she was very fast. She ran around the corner and then disappeared. Well, in the office, where the wall is, like when you go through the door, there's a desk here, and then if the chair's here, which they were, you can't disappear behind this wall. The wall's very small. And then, so I'm thinking like, why hasn't she come back out yet? That's weird. So I like peeked in to see if she was in there, to be like, what are you doing? Not like she was in trouble or anything, but just curious, like, what you doing? And she wasn't in there. And I was like, shit, did she run back out already and I missed it somehow? But I was looking up the whole time. So I wouldn't have missed her come out. And then I walked out and she was sitting at her desk. And I was like, were you here the whole time? And she was like, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, but what do you mean? And I was like, but like the whole time? You were like here the whole time? And she was like, no, well, I brought something into the office, but that was like a couple minutes ago. And I was like, not like right now, or like an actual couple minutes ago. Like, think about it, think hard. And she was like, no, it was like a few minutes ago when I came in there, the water was running. So it couldn't have been her that I saw. Because I was still washing the dish. And she showed me, she actually got up and showed me exactly what she did. She didn't even go into the office. She just leaned around the corner and set something on the desk. That was it. She didn't even go into the office and disappear. Like, the thing went into the office and disappeared. Like, as if it went around that corner.
Maybe the maintenance guy with a trap door. And he fell through the trap door, and he's still down there to this day.
Maybe that's what it gets. Scaring me.
Basement maintenance
Also,
guy. He's stuck down there, maintenance basement guy. He's stuck down there forever.
But also,
he's got lots of food and stuff. It's fine. He'll live there forever until he dies. Basement
she's not even wearing black. She wasn't even wearing black. She was wearing a brown shirt and a gray headband. And, like, the head looked dark. I didn't have enough time to see, like, fully. I couldn't tell you what the hair looked like. But, like, I didn't see any, like, light-colored anything. And it was a light gray headband that she was wearing and, like, a brown t-shirt. And I'm telling you, what I saw was black sleeves. I walked out and I was like,
the less popular sequel to green sleeves.
I feel so creeped out. I want to go home. She was like, well, I'm scared too now. That means that it was out here with me. Also, I was wearing my glasses. Had I not been wearing my glasses, I would have just been like, I'm crazy. I saw something. Who knows what it was. Like, I would have totally, like, shrugged it off and not thought anything of it anymore. Like, I would have never even, like, I probably wouldn't even told her. I would have just been like, oh, I thought I saw you walk in there, but I don't know. I didn't mind glasses on. Because that's 9 times out of 10. If I'm at work, I pretty much always put my glasses on because if a customer comes up, I need to be able to see who they are or whatever. So, I had my glasses on at the time, and yeah, I saw what I saw. I really did. If I didn't have my glasses on, I would have been like, who knows? Who knows what these bad eyes saw? Who knows? These eyes are...
Damn these bad good eyes.
But I had my glasses on, and I didn't even realize that either. She's the one who pointed it out when I was talking to her. She's like, "You're wearing your glasses too." Like, that's...
I mean, you could have also
creepy.
just been hallucinating.
But why?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, what would cause that? Like, out of the blue like that, and like, middle of the day. It wasn't even like...
Brain's weird.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Brain's weird, dude.
I saw something. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying it was a ghost. I'm just saying that's what I saw. Whether it was real or not, I don't know. I can't prove it. I don't have any pictures. My dad said I need to turn my phone on and just keep recording all of the time. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that.
You need to put a dash cam on your forehead.
Why didn't I think of that?
And then you just have a constant or like a body cam.
Oh, body cam's more realistic.
Ghost body cam. Maybe that'll be our next new product that makes us $1 million. Ghost body cam. Do you see ghosts, but you never record it because, who records all the time? That would be crazy. Ghost body cam. It has infrared. It has a subsonic sensor. And it will record all of this and all of your ghost encounters should they ever happen. You'll be always at the ready to record the ghost stories that nobody ever believes you when you tell them.
Yes! Actually, I do technically have one. It's a GoPro, and it's got a strap that goes here, and then the camera sits right here in the middle of my chesticles.
Yeah.
I walked around, I think it was Venice Beach or something, and I got in trouble a couple times. I hope you're not recording.
Why?
I'm not recording.
Oh. Are you not supposed to?
Well, I went into, like, shops where they had, like, paintings and stuff, and I feel like they were doing, like, shady shit, because It was
I see.
you know, paintings of like Marilyn that they like put tattoos on or whatever. So I don't know. I think they just
Copyright
didn't want
stuff
people
or
to
something.
show their shady shit. So whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're
Counterfeit
not
goods.
shady. What do I know? I don't know. They changed
I
it
don't know
enough that
either.
it's not a
Maybe they
copyright
were
or
just-
whatever, right?
Jerk butts.
Jerk butts. Okay. Well, that was the last of our ghost stories that were submitted, and
That was it. Thanks for tuning in to Your Fave Pod. We hope it becomes your favorite podcast.
I
And,
do hope that. I really do.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next month.
Yeah, next month. It'll be a monthly podcast until it's not. So the plan is to have it as a monthly podcast until we're able to get a bit of a groove down with editing and posting, and then once we get all of that figured out and locked in or whatever, then we can go ahead and maybe move to bi-weekly podcasts. That's
Oh,
the
and
plan.
also after we make that blood sacrifice to Kalashka, the patron saint of podcasting, it requires I think it was 7. Was it 7 goats? 7 goats, like per quarter. I'll have to look it up.
Per quarter? That's a lot of goats.
Per
Okay.
quarter, though, it's not that bad.
I will not be sacrificing any goats, y'all. Don't worry.
You have 3 months, 3 whole months.
3
9
whole
goats.
months? That's a lot of
Long
goats. I was gonna say ghosts. Almost
We
got
have
me.
to sacrifice some ghosts. The real problem is going to be cutting off their heads, because man, what do you do?
Can't behead a beheaded
Get a
one.
sword, goes right through. Axe, same story. Rope,
I don't know. We'll have
no
to
good.
ask the Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, we need to get some of those proton packs with the unlicensed nuclear reactor.
Yup. Alright, y'all. Well, I hope you enjoyed our Halloween spooky ghost story episode, and we will see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Alright, I'm gonna stop recording now and pray that it works.
Okay, me too.
Okay, I'm oh, hang on, file new. Got it. I know how this thing works. Not really.
We'll find our groove. We've got nothing to prove and nothing to lose.
Nothing to prove, nothing.
But everything to
nothing
choose.
Paper sounds.
Maybe we'll do an episode in Belarus.
I want to do an episode of Belarus. That sounds awesome. Okie
Maybe we'll do an episode on kangaroos.
We get to go to Australia. I don't know how to do an Australian accent. That was bad.
I always think that I can
That was
in
real
my
bad.
head, and when I hear it in my head, it's perfect. But then when I open
And then
my
we
mouth,
say that.
it's,
You're like, no, that
it's
one.
like that one meme.
The creative segment.
Hello, I'm back. Oh, sorry. And our final segment's called Shut Up and Listen, where we'll be spotlighting other creators we know, either as guests or sharing with their permission. We will also do a famous spotlight of anything like comedians, musicians, TV shows, popular streamers, popular breamers, bropular dreamers. Drop your breamers. Governor. And our final... I like the pause after shut up and listen. I think it's funny.
I covered my mouth.
And our final segment is called Shut Up and Listen. We'll be spotlighting other creators we know. either as
You
guests
laugh like you can see what I'm doing. It's funny.
Or
Are you excited?
yeah.
Good enough.